Hey everyone, my name is Levi and I am a maladaptive daydreamer. One of the most searched phrases relating to maladaptive daydreaming, I think, is what is the cure for maladaptive daydreaming? Well, as far as I know, there is no cure because you don't really want to cure daydreaming itself. You just want to sort of cure the maladaptive part of it. There are ways to treat it though. There's a way that you can learn to control your daydreaming habits, and that is what I will be discussing in this video. Hello, Levi from the future here. Or actually, it's the past because by the time you're actually watching this video, I would have said this in the past. It has actually been brought to my attention that there are people out there who are claiming to be able to cure maladaptive daydreaming, and they ask money for it online. I looked at one of the websites, and while I do appreciate the time and effort that was put into the creation of this site, I'm going to tell you outright this 7-step thing that you should follow and then get your maladaptive daydreaming completely cured. It's don't trust it. In this video, I'm going to give you detailed information for free. Be careful of spending money online out of desperation, because that is how a lot of these things work. A lot of people prey on other people's desperation. This isn't the first thing that I've seen of this. It appears in a lot of cases. Stick to the science and the research. Professor Sommer is providing feedback and information for free. I'm providing feedback and information for free. Dimmer is doing so. Every other YouTuber is doing so. Like, you don't need to pay for these things. You legit just have to practice what people are suggesting you do. So yeah, anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Please don't be too quick to spend your money on some miracle cure, and remember the age-old saying, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. The thing with this is that you have to put in the work and discipline to successfully be able to control your maladaptive daydreaming. For someone like myself, that is a whole lot of work, and seeing as daydreaming is quite an entertaining activity to do, it makes it that much more difficult. Professor Sommer actually released a video on this topic quite a few weeks ago regarding the possible treatment options for maladaptive daydreaming. If you haven't seen that video yet, please go and check it out. I will link it down in the description as well. In the video, he spoke about many steps that can be taken as well as a bunch of other stuff, but I'm just going to focus on 2 of them. And that is CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, and mindfulness. The 2 sort of go hand in hand as well. This is the disclaimer though. I am not a mental health professional, and everything I'm saying in this video, I'm saying either from a research perspective or from my own personal experiences. Anyway, let's look at CBT first. According to the NHS, CBT is a talking therapy that can help individuals manage their problems by changing the way they think and behave. It's most commonly used to treat anxiety and depression, but can be useful for other mental and physical health problems as well. CBT focuses on problems that you're facing in the present instead of problems that you were facing in the past, and breaks them down into smaller and more controllable parts. CBT is also good for things where medication isn't an option or where it simply did not work. The great thing about CBT is that it also applies to daily life, and it doesn't focus solely on the problems that you're presenting with. If you find yourself in a tough situation in the future, you can remember what you learned through CBT and apply those skills and knowledge to your situation depending on the nature of the problem. That last part was important. CBT cannot address the core of your problems. It's simply teaching you to react to, think about, and feel about things in a healthier manner. As I've said earlier, you need to put in the work, and with CBT, you need a whole lot of motivation and discipline to start and stick with it, but it's definitely worth it. Remember, we're not trying to stop or to cure daydreaming because daydreaming is normal and everyone does it. It's impossible to stop someone from daydreaming. We're just sort of focusing on treating or controlling the maladaptiveness of daydreaming. Back to CBT though. Another problem with CBT is that it sort of puts you face to face with your emotions, and as the NHS website says, your anxieties. One thing that I learned from my own therapy sessions is that negative emotions such as anger, sadness, and frustration, and so forth, aren't actually bad. They're necessary, normal, and natural. When I learned that, I felt way more comfortable putting myself face to face with my own emotions, and I could recognize and tell myself, hey, I'm feeling, let's say, frustrated right now. And then I would ask myself, but why am I feeling frustrated? Does being frustrated change anything about the situation? And if not, then what can I actually do to bring some sort of change or fix to the problem? It's a very good starting point. However, therapy isn't necessarily available or a possible option for many individuals due to a variety of reasons. So there's another option, which is called mindfulness. I sort of made a video about mindfulness a bit earlier in my YouTube career, but it was such a silly video and it was really just comedic in nature. And I don't think that I explained a whole lot of it properly. And overall, it was just bad. Mindfulness is the act of living in the moment. When you're practicing mindfulness, you're taking note of everything that is happening right now in the present. For example, right now I am seated at my desk, I am talking to my webcam, and I am recording a video, and the wind outside is absolutely insane. So the goal of mindfulness isn't to stop your thoughts or your mind from racing, but instead it is to help you recognize when your thoughts are lingering either to the past or to the future, and then to simply, gently bring your attention back to the present. Mindful.org is a great resource to learn more about mindfulness as well as how to practice it. They also provide the following list of, I can almost say, steps to mindfulness, which helps people understand it way better. Your location doesn't really matter, but you just need to have those few minutes that you can truly engage in the activity. You want to take note of what's happening right now in the present moment. Mindfulness teaches you to return to the present moment basically over and over again, without forcing your mind to stick to the present and without being too harsh on your wandering mind. Your thoughts are gonna wander, that's normal. This is probably quite a big challenge to maladaptive daydreamers, especially because our minds enjoy wandering, and that's okay. You shouldn't be punishing yourself or judge yourself too harshly when you realize that it's happening. Professor Sommer said it really well, actually, in his video. He said that the point of mindfulness is to accept your feelings without being influenced by it, and anyone can do it. I remember when I did mindfulness for therapy, and I felt really frustrated with it at first, but then as I started doing it more and more, something sort of just clicked for me, and it just became a fantastic way of dealing with certain situations where I just felt completely out of control. So I deal with a lot of intrusive thoughts, which kind of get triggered by many things. And whenever this happens, I just immediately tell myself to focus on the here and now, on the present, which pushes those thoughts to the side for a bit. And if I keep doing it, then the thoughts eventually disappear. Mindfulness also helps me a lot with anxiety. Since opening my own tattoo studio, my anxiety has just skyrocketed, and it just became so severe that at times it feels like my anxiety is sort of forcing my body to turn itself inside out. And that's from the stress of having to see clients. I usually become so stressed the night before or the day of the tattoo that I just sort of feel like I'm completely out of control, and I'm aching all over and I feel nauseous and my heart rate is just through the roof and I'm sweating, and it's just not a nice feeling. Usually when I start with my tattoos, I'm shaking a whole lot, and people are always like, "Oh, why are you shaking?" And it's like, bro, you have no idea the anxiety that I'm dealing with right now. Mindfulness really helps in that regard. And I know that it sounds like I'm trying to sell something. I sound like that typical MLM type of, oh, I have just the cure for you. But it's not like that, I promise. Mindfulness really just brings me back to the present and makes me think about, okay, I'm not seeing my client yet. Why am I being stressed? And if I can pinpoint the reason why I'm being stressed, then I'm thinking to myself, well, what good does it do me? So overall, live in the moment, because you're so uncertain of the present anyway. Whether you stress about it or not, it's not going to change what's going to happen. That's why I also love Stoicism so much. That's something that I've been taught through Stoicism, by just being reminded that whether I'm anxious or not, the future is going to happen regardless, and it's going to happen as it's going to happen. Anyway, mindfulness and CBT don't solve core problems. They just make people sort of cope with it better. I can't stress this enough though. Mindfulness and CBT doesn't take away our paras or our paracosm or our parame, and it doesn't influence our creativity, and it doesn't take away our daydreams. It just helps with that maladaptive part of the daydreaming habits that we have, which interferes with our daily functions. I've seen a lot of people mention how they don't want to seek treatment or help for their maladaptive daydreaming because they're so scared that if they don't have maladaptive daydreaming anymore, then they won't be creative or they won't be able to daydream or anything like that. And that's not how it works at all. If you don't have maladaptive daydreaming, you're just going to have regular daydreaming or immersive daydreaming. And you're still going to have your paras and your paracosm and all of that. You're still going to be equally creative. You're just not going to have to deal with the maladaptive part of it, as in the part that makes it maladaptive daydreaming in the first place, the part which interferes with pretty much everything in our lives. Remember, daydreaming is normal and everyone does it. It is impossible to stop someone from daydreaming. I think the point of mindfulness and CBT is just perhaps to take maladaptive daydreaming and turn it into immersive daydreaming, or hell, regular daydreaming. But anyway, that is it from me for this episode. Thanks again so much for watching. As always, thanks for all your support. I love seeing the comments. I love reading people's experiences. I just really enjoy doing this a whole lot, and it's thanks to you guys. So as always, please take care of yourselves, make good choices. Love you guys.